The call begins with panic. Screaming, a son who just found his parents murdered. But listen closely, because years later, prosecutors would replay this call and say something chilling. The killers were already on the line, and they were pretending. This is the story of the Menendez brothers, and this is Murder at Midnight. Inside Jose and Mary Louise, Kitty Menendez are found dead, killed in a brutal attack. The sound of the shots hangs in the air. This is not the kind of thing that happens here. Neighbours hear the shots and rush outside, shocked and scared. They look at each other and whisper. They can't believe what just happened. Police arrive and go inside. In the living room, they find Jose and Kitty on the floor. Both are dead. The violence is obvious. It's a reminder that life can end in an instant. Their sons, Lyle and Eric, are there. They look shaken. They tell the officers they came home and found their parents dead. Police start to process the scene. The living room is a mess. Furniture overturned, things scattered. There are clear signs of a fight. The smell of gunpowder hangs in the air. Outside, sirens cut through the quiet. People gather and talk in low voices. Word spreads fast. How could this happen here? No one has answers. Everyone feels uneasy. The safety they used to take for granted is gone. Detectives get to work. They search the house for anything that might point to who did this. Time matters. Officers question Lyle and Eric. What did they see? What did they hear? The brothers seem confused. They have trouble giving clear answers. They can't stop thinking about their parents. Grief and confusion mix. The tension is heavy. Every question feels like a lot. The officers try to get answers while also being careful with the brothers. Lyle and Eric are witnesses, and they've just lost their parents. The officers try to calm them down. Everyone knows how serious this is. The brothers are suddenly in the spotlight. Their lives have changed for good. As investigators work the crime scene, details start to add up. The violence looks planned, not random. Why would someone target the Menendez family? Detectives keep that question in mind as they gather evidence. The answer may be in the family's past. Every clue matters. They're determined to put the pieces together. Meanwhile, the neighbourhood can't believe it. Friends and neighbours try to make sense of what happened. They remember Jose as a hard-working man, well-liked. Kitty was a devoted mother, and always with her kids. How do you square that with what happened? People stop by to offer condolences. Words don't feel like enough. The grief is real. The whole community feels it. As the investigation continues, police realise this case may not be simple. Secrets start to come out. The Menendez family story gets more complicated. With each new piece of information, the picture changes. The brothers were first seen as victims. Now they're under scrutiny. People ask about their relationship with their parents. How the community sees them starts to shift. Were they just innocent bystanders, or did they have something to do with what happened? Detectives are determined to uncover the truth, knowing that every detail matters. They examine everything from financial records to personal relationships, searching for motives and connections that could explain this crime. The brothers' lives, once filled with promise, now hang in the balance as investigators dig deeper into their past. The tension in the air grows thicker. Everyone is on edge, waiting for answers. As more evidence comes out, tension in the community grows. Rumours spread fast. People form their own opinions about what happened in the Menendez home. There's a lot of speculation and fear. If it can happen to them, it can happen to anyone. The community used to feel close. Now trust is slipping. The story grabs the media's attention. Reporters show up. News cameras line the streets. Neighbours and friends look grim. The Menendez case becomes the story everyone's talking about. As details come out, public interest grows. The case turns into a sensation. It will affect not just the family but the whole community. Investigators sift through the evidence. They know they're only at the start of a long road. The truth is still out there. What really happened that day in the Menendez home? The answers are still hidden. The investigation is just getting started. A search warrant is issued for Dr. Jerome Oziel's offices and residents. This key moment shifts the investigation into the Menendez brothers, as police begin to focus on the therapist who treated both Lyle and Eric. Authorities believe that the sessions hold information that could illuminate the tragic events in the Menendez home. Tension is in the air as officers gear up to execute the search. The stakes are high. Lyle and Eric, already under scrutiny for the murders of their parents, now face a deeper investigation into their past. The insights from Dr. Oziel's therapy sessions could unravel secrets about the brothers' lives, exposing layers of trauma and family dynamics that might have contributed to such a shocking crime. Officers get their gear ready. They're in a hurry. They think the therapist's files hold important truths, maybe even evidence of problems that led the brothers to do this. They're determined to find out. The air is full of anticipation. Searching Dr. Oziel's offices isn't just a routine procedure, it's a critical step into the heart of a family's turmoil. Officers know that the records they seek could contain insights into Lyle and Eric's emotional and psychological struggles. They hope to find notes, transcripts, or recordings that might clarify the brothers' state of mind leading up to the murders. They go in. No one knows what they'll find. Each officer feels the pressure of it. These files could change everything, from a tragedy to a case about intent. The picture of a family torn apart by more than murder gets clearer. The pressure to find the truth is huge. Inside, officers work through the files. They read notes and documents about the Menendez brothers' therapy. They're looking for anything that points to motive or a history of conflict, anything that could explain why Lyle and Eric did this. One piece of evidence could change everything. Papers rustle, officers murmur as they compare notes. The search shows a bigger picture. The Menendez brothers aren't just two young men accused of murder. They came from a troubled family. Officers start to piece together a story that includes not just the murders, but the psychological factors that built up over years. The deeper they dig, the heavier it gets. Officers find documents that show what the Menendez family life was really like. Some papers point to money troubles, others show a facade of wealth that hid deeper problems. On the surface, they had it all. Underneath, there was dysfunction and conflict. Officers wonder how a family that looked so successful could end up here. With each new discovery, officers grow more convinced that Dr. Oziel's insights could be crucial in understanding the siblings' motivations. The therapist had access to details about their lives, and the thought of what those sessions might reveal sends a shiver down their spines. The investigation is shifting from merely solving a murder to unraveling the psychological factors that contributed to this tragedy. How could two young men, seemingly raised in comfort, end up in such a horrific situation? As the search wraps up, officers step back to reflect on what they found. They realize that the implications of their discoveries could be far-reaching. The evidence gathered from Dr. Oziel's office will play a role in the ongoing investigation and may even be key in future court proceedings. A sense of accomplishment mixes with apprehension as they grasp the depth of the family's issues. The air feels heavy. Everyone senses the pressure of what just happened. This is only the start of a long road. Lyle and Eric aren't just murder suspects anymore. They're at the center of a story about family, mental health, and what happens when trauma is never dealt with. As officers leave, they're already thinking about what these findings could mean. In the days ahead, police will comb through the collected materials, analyzing every detail for clues about the siblings' state of mind and their relationship with their parents. This investigation is poised to plunge deeper into the shadows of the Menendez family, revealing more than just the events of that fateful night. Each document holds the potential to unlock new insights, and the officers are ready to explore whatever truths lie ahead. March 8th, West Hollywood, California. Early morning light filters through the cool air, casting a soft glow on the quiet street. Lyle Menendez, just 22 years old, steps out of the family home, but he doesn't get far. Almost immediately, police officers surround him, signaling that he's not going anywhere. The reality of the moment hits him hard. This is the start of a chapter he never expected to face. Just days earlier, Lyle's life was turned upside down. His parents were found dead in their residence, leaving the community in shock. Neighbours who once shared laughter with the Menendez family now stand at a distance, their faces a mix of disbelief and curiosity. Whispers ripple through the crowd as they struggle to grasp the tragedy that unfolded so close to home. "Can you believe it?" one neighbour murmurs, shaking their head. The vibrant atmosphere of the neighbourhood has been replaced by a heavy silence, weighed down by loss. As Lyle is taken into custody, his expression reveals a mix of emotions: fear, confusion, and disbelief. He's escorted toward a waiting police car, the sound of footsteps echoing on the pavement. The officers are on high alert, fully aware of the scale of the situation. They have a mission: to uncover the truth behind the murders. Lyle's mind races, trying to take in how big this is. How did it come to this? Inside the house, police begin their search for evidence, sifting through rooms that once held cherished family memories. Each space tells a different story. Pictures from family vacations, trophies from Lyle's youth, and remnants of everyday life now seem troubling. The warmth of his childhood home feels cold and hollow. Officers examine every detail, searching for anything that might help them piece together the truth. The scent of old wood mingles with the remnants of family meals, but it does little to mask the growing tension. Neighbours peer from their windows, soft murmurs of conversation barely audible. "Did you hear what happened?" one whispers, disbelief etched on their face. The laughter that once filled the Menendez home is now replaced by a heavy quiet. What could have led to such a horrific event? The community grapples with these questions, struggling to find answers in the wake of the unimaginable. Children who used to play in the yard now stand frozen, unsure of what to think, their innocence clouded by the harsh reality of violence. As Lyle is driven away in the police car, no one knows what happens next. What really happened to Jose and Kitty Menendez? Why would their own sons be implicated in such a crime? These questions hang in the air, unanswered and heavy with implication. The officers know they are dealing with a case far more complex than it appears. Family secrets, long buried, are about to come to light, and the consequences will be profound. The tension inside the car is thick, each officer aware that they are embarking on a journey that will change lives forever. The car pulls away from the curb, leaving behind a neighbourhood that feels forever altered. The scene is surreal. The flashing police lights, the quiet street now bustling with activity, and the strain of tragedy tangibly in the air. As Lyle is taken to the station, what's happening begins to sink in. This isn't just about a crime. It's about a family torn apart and a community left to pick up the pieces. The sounds of sirens and distant chatter fill the air, a grim reminder that life outside continues, even as the Menendez family's world crumbles. The investigation is just beginning, and the police are determined to uncover the truth. They have questions for Lyle, hoping he can provide answers. But as the car drives away, it's clear that the road ahead will be filled with twists and turns. The truth is buried deep, and it will take time to reveal what really happened that night. The officers know they must tread carefully. Every piece of information is vital, and every detail could shift the narrative dramatically. Days later, Eric Menendez, Lyle's younger brother, returns to the country. He has just flown in from abroad, and the timing seems significant. Authorities are on high alert for him, knowing he is also a person of interest. Eric's arrival sparks a new wave of attention, and the police are ready to act. The airport buzzes with activity, but for Eric, the atmosphere feels charged with tension. He doesn't know it yet. He's about to become a key figure in an investigation. As Eric steps into the airport terminal, he has no idea that he's about to be caught in a web of suspicion. A few hours later, he's arrested at the airport, just after midnight. Officers approach him cautiously, fully aware of the sensitivity of the situation. Eric is bewildered as they inform him of the charges. The pressure of Lyle's recent arrest looms over him. With his brother already in custody, Eric's arrest adds another layer of complexity to the case. Both brothers are now at the centre of an investigation that has captivated the media and public alike. The narrative of the Menendez family is shifting. They are no longer seen as grieving sons, but as potential suspects in a double murder. News cameras capture every moment, their click, 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 echoing the chaos that has engulfed their lives. As Eric is taken into custody, the questions continue. What led these young men to this point? What secrets did their parents hold? The community watches closely. Both brothers are now at the centre of a story that has captured national attention. The truth, once revealed, will change everything. In the background, detectives piece together the case. Just days prior, Eric's older brother, Lyle, was arrested as he left their family home. Now, both brothers face serious charges for the murders of their parents, and the investigation has intensified. Detectives are combing through every aspect of the Menendez family's life, searching for clues that might unravel the tragic events of that night. The house where they grew up, once a place of laughter and love, has transformed into a crime scene marked with sorrow and confusion. Detectives are thorough in their quest for answers, digging into the family's financial situation, looking for any motive that could explain the tragic events. Despite their affluent lifestyle, underlying tensions had been simmering within the Menendez family. Investigators explore questions about family dynamics. What could have pushed them to such violence? They delve into everything from potential financial gain to deeper issues that may have existed behind closed doors. Sitting alone in the interrogation room, Eric feels the pressure of the world pressing down on him. The detectives probe deeply, asking questions that cut to the core, seeking to understand not just the events of that night, but the emotional turmoil that led up to it. Each question serves as a painful reminder of his losses, and he struggles to articulate the chaos swirling within him, or anxiety threatening to overwhelm his thoughts. Outside the police station, the media frenzy continues unabated. News outlets broadcast updates, and the public is eager for the latest developments. Eric and Lyle have become names associated with a scandal that has gripped the nation. Viewed through a lens of suspicion, the pressure to conform to the narrative being spun around them feels immense. Eric knows they are not just fighting for their freedom, they are battling for their reputation and sense of identity. This investigation is not merely about solving a crime, it is about unraveling the Menendez family's past. Detectives are uncovering layers of secrets that will change everything. Eric fears the truth is complex, worried that the world may never fully grasp what happened that night. He reflects on the moments leading up to the tragedy, wondering if they'll ever be able to explain the full story. As Eric's case unfolds, the legal battles begin, turning the courtroom into a stage for the family's darkest secrets. The stakes are high, and the outcome will not only determine their fate, but also shape the narrative surrounding their family for years to come. Eric feels the pressure mounting, the pressure of expectation heavy on his shoulders. The courtroom becomes a place of intense scrutiny, where every detail is picked apart and every testimony analysed. The brothers must navigate this complex web, facing not just the legal system, but also a public eager to form their opinions. The tension is felt by everyone, and Eric knows that the road ahead will be full of challenges. Each day brings new revelations, and the story continues to evolve. The next chapter in this saga promises to be even more intense as the investigation digs deeper into the Menendez family's history. Secrets will be unearthed, and the truth may be more complicated than anyone could have imagined. As Eric grapples with the unfolding events, the narrative of their lives takes dramatic turns that could alter everything they once believed. We'll be back. A critical ruling is anticipated in the courtroom. The scent of polished wood fills the air, mingling with the rustle of papers as everyone awaits the moment that could change the course of the trial. Tension is thick in the room, and you can almost hear the collective breath being held. As the judge's voice cuts through the murmurs, he announces that the audio tapes from Dr. Jerome Osil, the therapist for Lyle and Eric Menendez, will be admitted as evidence. This decision is significant because the tapes hold recorded sessions where the brothers discuss their relationship with their parents. The judge explains that the recordings do not fall under therapist-client privilege. This ruling means the defense can't keep this material from the jury, allowing the prosecution to present the brothers' words directly to the court. A heavy silence envelops the room as the gavel strikes the bench. The moment is significant. Everyone understands that this decision could change the trial. It's a turning point that could reshape the narrative surrounding the Menendez brothers and their actions. These audio tapes are not just ordinary recordings. They contain personal discussions. As the ruling sinks in, the prosecution and defense lawyers exchange quick glances, their minds racing with the implications of this new evidence. The conversations on those tapes explore the dynamics between the brothers and their parents. The emotional pressure of these revelations hangs heavily in the air, drawing in everyone present. These recordings could sway the jury, pulling them into the brothers' world. With the judge's ruling, the atmosphere becomes nearly unbearable. The courtroom feels electric, charged with a sense of impending drama. What the moment means is clear. Both sides know they are on the brink of something crucial. The defense team scrambles to adjust their strategy, realizing that the tapes might expose vulnerabilities. Meanwhile, the prosecution is eager to seize this opportunity, understanding that the tapes could serve as evidence in convincing the jury. This key decision brings the trial closer to uncovering the truth behind the events that led to the deaths of their parents. The ruling sets the stage for a dramatic unfolding of events. Both sides are gearing up for what promises to be a fierce courtroom battle. The audio tapes will play a major role in the proceedings, and the stakes couldn't be higher. As the day concludes, a buzz of conversation fills the air as attorneys huddle with their teams, strategizing how to present their cases in light of the newly admitted evidence. The tension is real as lawyers prepare for the next phase of the trial. They know that the audio tapes will reveal significant aspects of the brothers' lives and their upbringing. It's a delicate balance of emotion and strategy, and one that could sway the jury in unexpected ways. The room feels alive with anticipation, almost as if it knows something significant is about to happen. Outside the courtroom, life goes on, oblivious to the storm brewing within those walls. The Menendez brothers' lives hang in the balance, and with each passing day, the pressure mounts. The trial, now set to move forward with the audio tapes as a central focus, promises to delve deep into a family tragedy that captivated the nation. The streets of Van Nuys continue their daily rhythm, but the air is thick with uncertainty and dread. As the scene shifts, the implications of the judge's ruling become clear. The audio tapes contain moments where Lyle and Eric discuss their fears and feelings of betrayal. These recordings could provide insight into the brothers' state of mind leading up to the tragic events. The jury, now privy to these conversations, will have to grapple with the complexities of the brothers' lives. The prosecution aims to portray a narrative of premeditated murder, while the defense seeks to highlight the emotional turmoil that may have influenced the brothers' actions. The courtroom is a battleground, each side preparing to wield the tapes as a weapon. The prosecution is determined to use the recordings to establish guilt, portraying the brothers as individuals acting out of financial greed. In contrast, the defense aims to frame the tapes as evidence of deep-seated trauma, suggesting that the brothers were influenced by their past experiences. The tension is thick, and the outcome hangs by a thread. The stakes are high, as everyone in the room knows that the truth is complex. As the trial unfolds, the tapes will become a focal point, drawing in the jury and the public alike. The emotional revelations contained within could either condemn or exonerate the Menendez brothers. The courtroom doors close, sealing in the drama that is about to unfold. With every new piece of evidence, the narrative shifts and the pressure intensifies. The journey into the heart of this case is just beginning, and the tension is real. The Menendez Brothers' story is far from over. The courtroom drama is heating up. Everyone waits to see how it unfolds. Jury selection begins in the first Menendez murder trial. The courtroom buzzes with anticipation as the first Menendez murder trial officially kicks off. This case has drawn in crowds eager to witness the proceedings. The gallery is packed with spectators, reporters, and curious onlookers, all waiting to see how the story unfolds. The air is thick with tension as whispers and murmurs circulate among those present, each person keen to catch a glimpse of the brothers at the centre of it all. Today marks the start of jury selection, a crucial phase for Lyle and Eric Menendez, who are accused of murdering their parents, Jose and Mary Louise, Kitty Menendez. The weight of these serious allegations hangs heavy in the air, like a storm cloud threatening to burst. Lyle and Eric sit at the front, their faces revealing a mix of anxiety and determination. Each brother is flanked by their legal teams, ready to tackle the complexities of the case that has become a national sensation. Cameras flash, capturing every moment as the reality of the situation sinks in. Judge Stanley M. Weisberg presides over the courtroom, calm yet commanding. With a steady voice, he outlines the rules for jury selection, emphasizing the importance of impartiality. Potential jurors are called in one by one, stepping into the spotlight to answer questions about their backgrounds, beliefs, and any biases they might hold. For many, this is their first experience in a courtroom, and you can see the blend of curiosity and apprehension on their faces. The atmosphere thickens with tension as they grasp the significance of their role in the proceedings. Both sides' attorneys are focused and strategic, carefully assessing each juror as they come forward. They seek individuals who can remain unbiased, willing to listen to the evidence without preconceived notions. The implications are significant and the stakes are high for everyone involved. Outside, reporters are on edge, ready to relay every detail to the public. Pens are poised and cameras are rolling, capturing this unfolding drama. The air is electric, charged with the anticipation of what's to come. As hours pass, some jurors are dismissed while others are selected, creating a dynamic atmosphere that shifts with each decision. The crowd watches intently, their eyes darting between the potential jurors and the Menendez brothers. Lyle and Eric maintain a stoic silence, but their body language reveals their unease. Fidgeting fingers, exchanged glances and deep breaths. This is just the beginning of a long journey ahead, and the reality of their situation looms large. The selection process continues with moments of tension and anticipation. Each time a juror is called, the courtroom holds its breath, waiting to see if they will be deemed suitable. The attorneys dig deeper, asking questions that reveal potential biases and personal experiences. Many jurors admit they've heard about the Menendez family and the events surrounding their deaths. This knowledge complicates the selection process, as the jury must remain free from biases that could sway their judgment. The pressure of their task is evident, and it's clear that the outcome of this trial is critical. The room feels electric, charged with the pressure of the accusations. The Menendez brothers sit side by side, their expressions shifting from hope to concern as the day unfolds. Every choice made in this selection process is vital. So the outcome of their trial hinges on the jurors selected to hear their case. The tension is visible and the stakes are high. Each decision could significantly shape their future and their chances of a fair trial. Throughout the day, the judge keeps control, guiding the process and ensuring fairness. He steps in when necessary, reminding everyone of the importance of impartiality. The audience watches, riveted by the unfolding drama, as the reality of the situation becomes clearer. The brothers face serious charges, and public interest in the case continues to grow. You can almost feel the collective heartbeat of the room, each person holding their breath as the process unfolds. As potential jurors are questioned, some express eagerness to serve, while others are quick to seek dismissal. Each response adds another layer to the narrative. The brothers' fate lies in the hands of these strangers, and everyone in the courtroom feels the pressure of this responsibility. The tension builds with each moment, and you can almost hear the collective sighs of relief or disappointment as jurors are accepted or rejected. The stakes are high, and the tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. The day drags on, and by the time court adjourns, some jurors have been seated, while others remain under consideration. Lyle and Eric's faces reflect a mixture of emotions: anxiety, hope, and fear. They realise the road ahead is long and uncertain. The public is watching closely, and expectations are high. This trial is set to not only determine their fate, but also capture the nation's attention. The atmosphere is heavy. You're filled with unspoken questions and worries about what lies ahead. As the courtroom empties, the weight of the day lingers. The next steps are crucial, and both sides know they must prepare for what lies ahead. The stage is set for a complex story to unfold, with many twists and turns yet to come. The Menendez case is just beginning, and the world is eager to see how it will all play out. The anticipation in the air is almost real, setting the tone for the trials and tribulations yet to come. With the jury selection only the first step, everyone knows this saga has only just begun. Each day will bring new developments, and the public will be watching every move. The Menendez brothers may not fully grasp the scale of what they're facing, but one thing is clear: this trial will change everything. The courtroom buzzes with a mix of anxiety and anticipation as the trial for the Menendez brothers kicks off. Lyle, the older brother, sits at the front, his gaze shifting nervously from the judge to the spectators. Eric fidgets in his chair, feeling the weight of the moment pressing down on him. Judge Stanley M. Weisberg commands attention as he outlines the trial structure. There will be 2 separate juries, one for each brother. This setup reflects the complexities of their cases and the different stories they plan to tell. The atmosphere is electric, filled with tension. Family and friends fill the seats, their faces showing a mix of concern and curiosity. Many know this case has drawn significant media attention, and the events have left a deep impact on the community. The tragedy has shocked many. And there's a lot at stake, not just for the accused, but for everyone who loved the victims. Each seat in the courtroom is occupied by those eager to hear the details of that fateful night, a night that changed everything for the Menendez family. As the proceedings begin, both the prosecution and defense prepare to present their cases. The prosecution aims to prove that the siblings committed murder, while the defense intends to present a different perspective. The sense of unease is visibly thick enough to cut with a knife. Each brother has his own story to share about that tragic night, and their defense teams are ready to make their cases. For them, this trial is not just a legal battle. It's a chance to reveal their truths and defend themselves against accusations that have haunted them since the day they reported their parents' deaths. Outside the courtroom, the scene is alive with activity. News cameras flash, capturing every moment, every expression. Reporters are eager to get every detail, hoping to uncover something that might give them the edge in their stories. The drama unfolding in the courtroom is just beginning, and it's clear this will be a long and arduous journey for everyone involved. The stakes are high and the pressure is mounting. As the trial unfolds, each side will present evidence and testimonies aimed at swaying the juries. The prosecution is determined to show that the brothers were involved in the murders, while the defense will argue that they were victims themselves, trapped in a cycle of abuse. The courtroom will become a battleground of emotions, filled with heart-wrenching stories and conflicting narratives. The jury's decisions will not only determine the fate of the siblings, but also shape the public's perception of what happened that night. Opening statements are crucial. Each attorney will try to set the tone for the trial. framing the narrative they want the juries to believe. The prosecution might focus on the nature of the murders, emphasizing the actions of the siblings. In contrast, the defense will highlight the alleged abuse they suffered from their parents, trying to evoke compassion and understanding for their actions. The lives of the accused hang in the balance, and the courtroom is where their fate will be decided. As the trial progresses, media coverage will intensify, with daily reports detailing the courtroom proceedings. This case has captured the public's imagination, and many are eager to learn what happens next. Some rally behind the siblings, believing they were justified in their actions, while others are horrified by the thought of two sons killing their own parents. This divide in public opinion only adds to the tension in the courtroom. Throughout the trial, witnesses will come and go, each offering their perspective on the Menendez family. Friends, relatives, and experts will all contribute to a complex web of testimonies. Some will support the accused, while others will present differing views of their upbringing. The juries will have to sift through these conflicting accounts, trying to piece together the truth from the chaos. As days turn into weeks, so the emotional toll on everyone involved becomes evident. Lyle and Eric confront their past in ways they never anticipated, reliving painful memories. The courtroom transforms into a stage where their lives are laid bare for all to see. The siblings' reactions to testimonies will be scrutinized, every tear and twitch analyzed for meaning. The pressure is immense, and it's clear that this trial is not just about justice, it's about the very essence of their identities. As the trial continues, unexpected twists and turns may arise. The defense could introduce new evidence that shifts the narrative, or the prosecution might unveil details that leave everyone surprised. Each day brings new developments, and the atmosphere of unease in the room only grows thicker. The stakes are high, and the outcome remains uncertain. The courtroom drama continues, and the truth is waiting to be uncovered. January 13th, 1994. Van Nuys, California. The atmosphere inside the courtroom is thick with tension as Judge Stanley M. Weisberg rises to deliver a verdict. He announces a mistrial in Eric Menendez's first trial. After days of deliberation, the jury finds itself deadlocked, unable to reach a consensus on a verdict. The air is heavy with uncertainty, leaving everyone present dealing with complex emotions that seem to hang in the air like a storm cloud. As the jurors file out of the room, their faces tell a story of their own. Some appear drained, eyes heavy from the mental strain of deliberations that have led them to this impasse. Others shake their heads in disbelief, clearly caught off guard by the intricate nature of the case they've been tasked with. A few jurors even show signs of relief, eager to escape the pressure cooker of the courtroom, yet haunted by the strain of the tragedy they've been forced to confront. This isn't merely a legal matter, it's a deeply personal tragedy that has altered lives forever. At the defendant's table, Eric and his brother Lyle sit in silence, absorbing the implications of the day's outcome. They exchange glances, each brother acutely aware of the uncertainty that now looms over their future. The mistrial isn't just a pause in their legal battle, it's a moment filled with questions about what lies ahead. What will happen next? The thought lingers, unspoken but undeniable, echoing in the minds of all who are involved. Once outside the courthouse, the scene shifts dramatically. A throng of reporters rushes forward, eager to capture every detail of the unfolding drama. Their voices overlap as they shout questions, demanding answers about the mistrial and what it means for the Menendez brothers. The media frenzy escalates, with cameras flashing and microphones thrust forward, all vying for a glimpse of the brothers or their legal team. It's a chaotic scene, and the pressure is relentless. Eric's defense team scrambles to manage the situation, working to provide clarity amidst the noise. In the midst of this chaos, the defense attorneys passionately discuss the challenges they've faced throughout the trial. They emphasize the emotional toll it has taken on everyone involved, the complexities of the evidence, the emotional testimonies, and the psychological factors at play are all highlighted. They stress that the jury's deadlock reflects the intricate nature of the case. These aren't just statistics, they're real lives intertwined in a web of pain and tragedy. As conversations about next steps fill the air, no one knows what happens next. What will happen now? Will there be another trial? The stakes are high, and the future of the Menendez brothers is now shrouded in doubt. The tension is unmistakable, and reporters are eager for any hint of what might come next. The public is left to wonder how this mistrial will affect the brothers. Could another trial lead to a different outcome? Speculation hangs thick, making it clear that the next chapter in this story is yet to unfold. In the days that follow, the legal team gears up for the possibility of retrial. Yeah, they understand that the previous trial's mistrial doesn't erase the complexities of the case. Every detail will be scrutinised once more, or hooped. The defence knows they must strategize carefully, learning from what went wrong the first time and addressing those issues in the next round. Every argument, every piece of evidence, and every witness will be re-examined, and they're determined to approach this next trial with a fresh perspective. Meanwhile, Eric and Lyle continue to navigate their harsh reality. Serious charges still hang over them. The emotional toll of the trial weighs heavily, and while friends and supporters rally around them, public scrutiny remains relentless. They must confront a world that sees them as suspects in a double murder, not just grieving sons. The brothers are caught in a whirlwind of public opinion, where every glance and whispered conversation feels charged with judgment. As they prepare for what's next, the tension remains thick. Conversations about the trial echo through their lives, influencing every interaction. The pressure is real, the pressure of the accusations hanging over them. They must face not only the legal implications, but also the emotional fallout from the situation. The brothers are acutely aware that their lives are on display, picked apart by the public eye, and this reality adds another layer to their struggle. The stage is set for a retrial, and the legal team is determined to take a different approach this time. They know that every detail matters. They begin strategizing about how to present evidence, frame their narrative, and choose witnesses wisely. Their goal is to ensure that the jury sees the entire picture, not just the sensational headlines. They want to humanize Eric and Lyle, showing the jury that they are more than the accusations against them. As the clock ticks down to the retrial, both brothers brace themselves for what's to come. They realize that the next trial could be their last chance for justice. The pressure of the past weighs heavily, but they cling to hope. They want to believe that the truth will emerge, that they can clear their names, and that they can finally find some peace amid the chaos that has engulfed their lives. Next, the story will delve into the developments of the retrial, showcasing the strategies the defense employs to tackle the challenges ahead. Tension fills the courtroom as the jury returns after deliberation. They've sifted through details of the Menendez brothers' case, weighing evidence and testimonies. Now they stand divided. The judge announces a mistrial in Lyle Menendez's first trial. A wave of emotion sweeps through the room. Some spectators express relief, hopeful for a new chance, while others display frustration and disappointment. Lyle and Eric Menendez sit quietly, their faces reflecting a mix of anxiety and anticipation. They've been waiting for this moment, longing for a verdict that might lead to freedom. Instead, they find themselves staring into uncertainty. Outside the courthouse, chaos reigns. Reporters swarm, eager to capture every detail of this unexpected twist. They bombard anyone nearby with questions, desperate for insights into what happens next. For Lyle, this mistrial is not just a setback. It's another opportunity, a fresh round in a drawn-out fight for justice. The brothers' lawyers are already strategizing for a retrial, but the timeline remains unclear. They know it could take time before they return to court, and the uncertainty is visible. In a silent exchange, Lyle and Eric lock eyes, sharing a moment of understanding. They know they must brace themselves for what lies ahead, a process that could stretch indefinitely. Each brother draws strength from the other, ready to continue the fight. For now, they take a deep breath, both realizing that their struggle is far from over. The courtroom had been a battleground, and they are still in the fight for their lives. In the days following the mistrial, the media buzzes with speculation about the implications. Headlines scream about the Menendez brothers, and the public remains captivated by their story. The courtroom drama has caught the nation's attention, leaving many to wonder about the next steps. What will the prosecution do now? Will the brothers face justice, or will they find a way to evade the consequences of their actions? Lyle and Eric navigate this uncertainty, acutely aware that the mistrial doesn't erase the serious charges against them. Each day brings new hurdles, and they must remain on guard. Their legal team is determined to regroup and come back stronger for the retrial, discussing strategies and evidence. They know the stakes are high. The next trial could decide their future, and the pressure mounts with every passing moment. Outside the courthouse, the atmosphere is charged. Family members and supporters gather, some clinging to hope, while others voice their doubts. The emotional toll of the trial weighs heavily on everyone involved. Once viewed as a picture-perfect family, the Menendez family now finds itself at the center of a horrific tragedy. The marked difference between their past and present leaves many questioning how it all went so wrong. Friends and relatives, previously supportive, now find themselves dealing with their own feelings about the case. As days turn into weeks, Lyle and Eric grapple with the relentless media frenzy. Finding moments of peace in the chaos proves challenging. Their lives are under public scrutiny, picked apart by strangers who don't know their full story. The brothers remind themselves that they hold their own truth, one they hope will prevail in the next round of legal proceedings. They spend hours strategizing with their attorneys, trying to anticipate every move from the prosecution. The mistrial has ripple effects beyond the brothers. Their legal team is hard at work. The lawyers analyze every aspect of the previous trial, searching for weaknesses in the prosecution's case. They discuss the evidence that was presented, the witness testimonies, and the emotional responses of the jury. They understand that the next trial is crucial, not just for a not guilty verdict, but to prove their innocence amid a sea of public opinion. This time, they cannot afford any missteps. As the retrial date approaches, Lyle and Eric confront the reality of their situation. Each brother wrestles with his own feelings about the case and their parents' deaths. They know the path ahead will be long and full of emotional upheaval. All doubts may surface, but they also find strength in their bond, a connection that has been tested but remains steadfast. The brothers share late-night conversations, discussing their fears and hopes for the future, making plans for what they will do if they win their freedom. The story of the Menendez brothers is far from over. With the mistrial declared, the next chapter looms ahead. Legal battles will continue, and the public will stay captivated by their tale. What will the next trial reveal? Will the truth finally emerge, or will the brothers remain shrouded in the shadows of their past? As they prepare for what's next, Lyle and Eric understand they must stay resilient. The fight for their futures is just beginning, and they are determined to face whatever comes their way. The courtroom drama is set to unfold once more, with the world watching closely, eager to see how this family saga continues. With new developments on the horizon, the Menendez brothers' story is poised for another unexpected turn, keeping everyone on edge. What will the future hold for them? Only time will tell. May 26, 1995, Los Angeles, California's 2nd District Court of Appeal upholds the retrial venue in Van Nuys. The atmosphere inside the courtroom is thick with anticipation and tension as the judges prepare to announce their decision. This ruling is crucial for the Menendez brothers, Lyle and Eric, and for everyone closely watching this high-profile case. By keeping the trial In Van Nuys, the court ensures that the proceedings remain close to the scene of the tragic events that have captivated the community. The legal teams on both sides have spent months battling over the trial's location. The defense is particularly concerned, arguing that the extensive media coverage has made it difficult to find jurors who haven't been influenced by the public narrative surrounding this case. They believe that moving the trial away from Van Nuys would give their clients a fairer chance at justice. After all, how can one expect a jury to remain unbiased when they've been inundated with stories of the details surrounding the murders? Yet the court stands firm, asserting that a local jury can still deliver a fair verdict despite the media attention surrounding the case. As the judges deliberate, whispers ripple through the crowd, creating a buzz of speculation about what the ruling will be. Spectators, reporters, and family members fill the benches, each person wearing a different expression. Some show curiosity, while others appear anxious. The pressure of the decision is real. It could affect the futures of the Menendez brothers. The court's ruling will set the stage for the retrial, which is already looming on the horizon, and the tension in the air is almost electric. Once the judges announce their decision to keep the retrial in Van Nuys, the implications sink in. Many in the courtroom understand that this ruling may favour the prosecution. They believe the local community's familiarity with the case could sway jurors against the brothers. But there's also a sense of hope among some that the defence might be able to leverage local sentiment to their advantage. The stakes are high, with both brothers facing serious charges. Days turn into weeks, and the legal battles continue to unfold. As the retrial date approaches, Lyle and Eric grapple with the reality of their situation. They find themselves not just fighting for their freedom, but also battling the heavy burden of their family's legacy. The memories of their parents and the circumstances surrounding their deaths weigh heavily on their minds. The courtroom drama is about to reach new heights, and the public is eager to see how this saga will unfold. In the meantime, the media frenzy escalates. Reporters camp outside the courthouse, ready to seize any opportunity to capture a story. Once regarded as innocent victims of a family tragedy, the Menendez brothers are now portrayed as alleged murderers. The narrative has shifted, and public perception is continually evolving. This change adds another layer of complexity to their legal battles, as the brothers find themselves under scrutiny from both the media and the public. Inside the courthouse, emotions run high. Supporters gather, each person carrying their own hopes or fears. Family members, friends, and some community members come to show their support, while others are affected by the tragic story that has unfolded. The emotional load of the case is unmistakable, with memories of the Menendez family echoing in the minds of those present. The courtroom, once a place of familial bonds, now feels like a battleground where past happiness clashes with the harsh reality of the situation. As the retrial date draws near, the brothers prepare for the testimonies and evidence that will be presented. They know their lives will be laid bare in front of a jury, and the outcome looms large over them. The defence team works tirelessly, aiming to craft a narrative that highlights the complexities of their upbringing and the environment they grew up in. They want to explain the psychological scars left by a tumultuous childhood filled with fear and dysfunction. The prosecution, however, is equally determined to present a compelling case. They plan to argue that the brothers' actions were premeditated, showcasing the calculated nature of the crimes. The brothers are accused of killing their parents with intent and malice, and the prosecution aims to prove this. The stakes couldn't be higher for both sides, as the outcome of the retrial will have lasting implications for the Menendez brothers and the community that has been captivated by this tragic story. The public is left wondering what will happen next. The Menendez brothers stand at a crossroads, facing their past and the consequences of their actions. The tension in the courtroom is thick, and the pressure mounts as the retrial date approaches. With all eyes on the proceedings, the tale of family, betrayal, and tragedy is set to take another turn. With the retrial confirmed for Van Nuys, the brothers brace themselves for the fight of their lives. They understand that the court's decision keeps them in the spotlight, where every move will be scrutinized. The tension in the air is electric, and the battle for their future is just beginning. The second trial of Lyle and Eric Menendez kicks off with the opening statements from both the prosecution and defense, marking a significant chapter in their ongoing saga. The courtroom buzzes with anticipation as spectators fill the benches, eager to witness the drama unfold. For many, this moment has been long awaited, a chance to see how the brothers will defend themselves before a new jury. Friends, family, curious onlookers, and members of the press sit side by side, all hoping to catch a glimpse of the revelations this trial will bring. At the front of the room, Lyle and Eric Menendez wear serious expressions. Fully aware of the seriousness of their situation, they face serious charges that could lead to life sentences without parole, a reality that weighs heavily on their minds. The brothers are dressed in dark suits, looking older and more worn than they did during the previous trial. Their eyes reflect a mix of fear and determination as they prepare for the battle ahead. As the judge takes his seat, murmurs ripple through the crowd. This trial feels different from the last. The previous one ended in a mistrial, leaving many questions unanswered and emotions unresolved. Now, all eyes are on this fresh start. The prosecution begins with calculated intensity, laying out their case against the brothers. They argue that Lyle and Eric planned the murders, asserting that the brothers acted with the intent to kill their parents. Their words pierce the courtroom silence, painting a chilling picture of betrayal and violence. Evidence is presented to suggest premeditation, including financial motives and the brothers' actions leading up to that night. Each detail is carefully crafted to evoke horror and outrage among the audience. The prosecutor's voice rises, and emphasizing the brutality of the crime and the deep betrayal felt by the victims, driving home the point that these were not impulsive acts, but rather calculated decisions made over time. In response, the defense prepares to counter these claims, aiming to illustrate the history of trauma and fear that shaped the brothers' lives. They highlight the dysfunctional family dynamics, the emotional and physical abuse the boys allegedly endured, and the psychological scars that may have influenced their actions. The defense seeks to humanize Lyle and Eric, inviting the jury to see them not merely as suspects, but as victims of their circumstances. Their narrative echoes with some members of the audience, who feel a sense of empathy for the brothers. The defense attorney speaks passionately, detailing the boys' childhood memories, filled with fear and despair, hoping to paint a picture of two young men driven to desperation by their home life. Tension fills the air as both sides present their arguments. The prosecution's case is compelling, yet the defense's emotional appeal hits home with supporters of the Menendez brothers. Spectators exchange glances filled with concern and empathy, reflecting the courtroom's microcosm of a larger societal debate. Supporters hope the jury will see the brothers as more than just accused murderers, remembering the vulnerable boys caught in a web of family dysfunction and tragedy. Each moment feels significant, as if everyone understands the pressure of what is at stake. Outside the courthouse, the media frenzy intensifies, with reporters eager to capture the unfolding drama. The case has captured national attention, and the public's curiosity about the Menendez brothers only grows stronger. As the opening statements wrap up, uncertainty hangs over the courtroom. The trial has officially begun, and the battle for truth and justice is underway. The judge calls for a brief recess, allowing the jury to digest the intense emotions stirred by the arguments. The sound of shifting chairs and hushed conversations fills the air as people discuss what they've just witnessed. The stakes are incredibly high, and the pressure is felt by everyone. What will the jury decide? The community watches closely, aware that the outcome could change everything for the Menendez brothers. Conversations outside the courtroom buzz with speculation and theories, as supporters and critics alike weigh in on the unfolding drama. In the days that follow, the courtroom transforms into a stage for emotional testimonies and heated exchanges. Witnesses share their perspectives on the tragic events, recounting memories of the Menendez family that reveal a complex web of love, fear, and dysfunction. The brothers' past is scrutinized, exposing layers of pain that contribute to their narrative. Friends and acquaintances are called to testify, each shedding light on moments that shaped the brothers' lives. Some describe happy memories of family gatherings, while others reveal troubling incidents that hint at the darker aspects of their upbringing. The defense works tirelessly to portray Lyle and Eric as victims of their upbringing, while the prosecution remains steadfast in their depiction of the brothers as perpetrators. As the trial unfolds, the media frenzy surrounding the case intensifies. Reporters swarm outside the courthouse, eager to capture every detail for the public. Cameras flash as they document the arrival of the brothers, their family, and their legal team. Headlines buzz with speculation and analysis, turning the Menendez brothers into household names. The nation is captivated, sparking debates about justice, family dynamics, and the effects of trauma. Social media discussions reflect the public's divided opinions, with some supporting the brothers and others demanding justice for their parents. Inside the courtroom, the emotional toll of the trial becomes increasingly clear. Lyle and Eric exchange glances, offering silent support as they navigate the chaos. They are no longer just brothers. They are two young men bearing the pressure of their circumstances. Their bond is tested as they confront the complexities of their defense and the scrutiny of public opinion. Each day presents new challenges, and the pressure mounts as the trial progresses. They sit together, whispering to each other during breaks, sharing their fears and hopes for the outcome. As the prosecution and defense continue to clash, the atmosphere shifts. Each witness and piece of evidence adds depth to the unfolding story. The jury listens intently, weighing the arguments presented by both sides. Every moment is crucial, and everyone in the room knows that the final verdict will not only impact Lyle and Eric, but also echo throughout the community and beyond. The courtroom becomes a battleground for emotions as the brothers and their supporters hold their breath, waiting for the verdict to emerge. The courtroom battles continue, and the complexities of the case deepen. A jury convicts both brothers of first-degree murder and conspiracy. Tension fills the courtroom, every gaze fixed on the jury as they prepare to announce their decision. Lyle and Eric Menendez sit side by side, their faces reflecting a mix of anxiety and resignation. They anticipated this moment, but now that it's here, the pressure of reality presses down on them. The finality of their fate feels suffocating, a stark contrast to the hope they once held. As the foreperson reads the verdict, each word rings a chilling reminder of what lies ahead. Lyle's jaw clenches, while Eric's eyes drop to the floor, unable to confront the world around him. The jurors exit the room, their expressions revealing a blend of relief and fatigue. After weeks of intense testimonies and emotional appeals, they now carry the heavy burden of their decision, aware that it will change the lives of the Menendez brothers forever. The atmosphere is stifling, filled with quiet gasps and murmurs as everyone waits for the judge's next instructions. Reporters shift restlessly, pens poised and cameras ready, eager to capture every moment of this key occasion. Flashbulbs burst, illuminating the somber faces in the room, amplifying the chaotic energy. This scene is destined to dominate news headlines, a defining moment in the lives of Lyle and Eric. Outside the courthouse, chaos erupts. Journalists swarm, shouting questions and seeking comments from anyone connected to the trial. The air crackles with tension as supporters of the Menendez brothers stand nearby, their faces a mix of shock and disbelief. Some are in tears, dealing with the reality of the verdict, while others stand rigid, struggling to process the news. The brothers' legal team faces the daunting task of navigating this storm, fully aware that public opinion has shifted dramatically. The verdict carries serious consequences. Both brothers now face life sentences without the possibility of parole, a grim reality that looms over them. They exchange a glance, a moment of silent understanding passing between them. Once seen as grieving sons, Lyle and Eric are now labelled as convicted murderers. Public scrutiny will only intensify. In the aftermath, family members gather, their emotions a turbulent mix of grief and anger. The tragedy of the Menendez family has unfolded in an almost surreal manner. This loss extends beyond the brothers. It echoes through everyone connected to them. The courtroom, once a battleground for legal disputes, now feels like a stage for heartbreak and despair. Conversations drop to whispers as relatives reflect on the lives lost and the pain that remains. The atmosphere feels thick with sorrow, a collective mourning for a family shattered. As the dust begins to settle, uncertainty about the future hangs in the air. Lyle and Eric brace themselves for what lies ahead, knowing their fight is far from over. The legal battles are ongoing, and their story is set to take another turn. The question of what comes next lingers, heavy with possibility. With the verdict now announced, discussions about appeal strategies start to emerge. Legal experts and supporters analyse the trial, searching for any missteps that could lead to a different outcome. The brothers' attorneys are formulating plans to challenge the verdict, believing new evidence or different legal arguments could sway the courts. The anticipation of further legal proceedings looms, a reminder that this chapter is just the beginning. In the days that follow, the media continues to scrutinise every detail of the case. News outlets dissect the trial, highlighting moments that may have influenced the jury's decision. Lyle and Eric's pasts come under the spotlight, with reporters digging into their childhood and the events leading up to that tragic night. This relentless exposure complicates their situation, making it difficult for them to find any peace. Supporters rally around Lyle and Eric, advocating for their innocence and arguing that the circumstances surrounding their actions should be taken into account. They see the brothers as victims of a broken home, pointing to the alleged abuse they suffered at the hands of their parents. This narrative gains traction among some, who view Lyle and Eric as figures caught in a web of familial dysfunction. Public perception becomes divided, igniting passionate discussions about justice, morality, and the nature of the Menendez brothers' actions. As the legal and media battles rage on, Lyle and Eric remain in their own world, dealing with the reality of their convictions. Each day feels like a struggle as they confront the consequences of choices made in a moment of desperation. Their bond deepens, forged in shared experience and loss. They lean on each other for support, knowing the path ahead will be full of challenges. The courtroom drama unfolds like a slow-motion train wreck, drawing in more spectators with each revelation. Lyle and Eric's story captivates the nation, and the Menendez case becomes a symbol of the complexities of crime and punishment. As they await the next chapter in their tumultuous journey, the brothers cling to the hope that their fight for justice is far from over. What will the future hold for Lyle and Eric Menendez? Only time will tell. The courtroom buzzes with tension as the penalty phase jury prepares to announce their recommendation. Lyle and Eric Menendez sit side by side, their faces a mix of anxiety and flickering hope. They understand the scale of the moment, their futures hang in the balance. A hush falls over the spectators, all eyes fixed on the jury as they settle into their seats, the anticipation undeniable in the air. The foreman rises and the atmosphere crackles with expectation. He clears his throat, glancing around the room, feeling the strain of the moment pressing down on him. Silence thickens like fog, each second stretching longer than the last. Finally he speaks, The jury recommends life imprisonment without parole for both brothers. The words echo in the courtroom, triggering a wave of mixed reactions from those present. Gasps of disbelief ripple through some supporters, while others shake their heads, resigning themselves to the reality. Lyle and Eric exchange a glance, their emotions swirling within them. They had anticipated this moment, yet hearing it spoken cuts deeper than expected. It's one thing to expect an outcome, it's another to confront it directly. The finality of the verdict hangs like an anchor, making it hard to breathe. Outside the courtroom, reporters scramble to capture reactions, their cameras clicking rapidly as they document the scene. The atmosphere is charged with questions. How will the public respond? What will the defense team say? Once more, Lyle and Eric face a reality they never imagined would be their own. Their lives transformed in ways they couldn't have foreseen. As the judge prepares to conclude the proceedings, a sense of finality settles in. The jury's decision means the brothers will spend their lives behind bars, a sharp contrast to the lives they once knew. The courtroom, once a space filled with family ties and shared grief over their parents' loss, now feels heavy with sorrow and consequence. Everyone present understands the profound impact of this moment, not just for the Menendez brothers, but for all involved in this tale. The emotional toll is evident. Some family members are overcome with tears, while others stand stoically, dealing with the reality of the verdict. It's a bittersweet moment that no one expected. The brothers' lives, once filled with dreams and aspirations, have now turned into a fight for survival within the prison system. The room feels charged with mixed emotions, sorrow, relief, and a sense of hopelessness, all blend together. The jurors file out, their faces showing a blend of fatigue and satisfaction after completing a difficult task. They have weighed the evidence and reached a conclusion that will affect many lives. The strain of the trial lingers, and they leave the courtroom with a sense of closure, albeit a heavy one. Towards the journey to this point has been long and full of tension, and now the brothers must confront the consequences. For Lyle and Eric, a new chapter is about to begin as they face the long road ahead. They will have to navigate life in prison, a clear reality that will test their resilience. Legal battles are far from over. Appeals and potential retrials loom ahead, casting shadows over their futures. Many questions remain. With the public still invested in their fate, the brothers must find a way to cope with what lies ahead. They have already faced unimaginable circumstances and will need to draw on their inner strength to endure the challenges to come. How will they adapt to life behind bars? What strategies will they employ to maintain their bond as brothers? The uncertainty weighs on them as they contemplate their future. Their story has captivated the nation, and the media frenzy continues. Journalists dig deeper, searching for any insight into the brothers' lives, their motivations, and the events leading to that night. The Menendez brothers have become symbols of a complex tale interwoven with family dynamics, trauma, and the quest for justice. This public scrutiny adds another layer of pressure as they navigate their new reality. As they prepare for the next phase, the brothers must confront their feelings about the verdict. They will reflect on their childhood, their relationship with their parents, and the events that led them to this courtroom. Questions linger. Did they make the right choices? Could things have turned out differently? The emotional journey is just beginning for Lyle and Eric. They must face not only the consequences of their actions, but also the legacy of their family. The trial has exposed their darkest secrets, and now they must navigate a world that knows them as convicted murderers, not grieving sons. The courtroom doors close behind them as they exit, sealing the verdict and marking a new beginning in their lives. The case continues to unfold. The public is eager to see how this story unfolds, and the legal ramifications will keep everyone in suspense. With the pressure of the verdict behind them, the brothers face an uncertain future. Their journey is far from over, and the next chapter will reveal more than just the consequences of their past actions. How they respond to this new reality will shape not only their lives, but also the lives of those who continue to follow their story. As they step out of the courtroom, the world outside awaits, filled with questions and speculations. The Menendez brothers are now part of a narrative that transcends their individual experiences, becoming a cautionary tale of family, tragedy, and the quest for justice. What lies ahead for them is shrouded in uncertainty, but one thing is clear: their lives will never be the same again. The next phase of their lives is set to unfold in a way that no one can predict. The public remains captivated, awaiting the next development in this ongoing saga. Lyle and Eric Menendez, once just ordinary young men, now find themselves at the center of a storm that has forever changed the course of their lives. And as the dust settles, the echoes of the courtroom linger, reminding everyone of the complexities of their story and the heavy price of their actions. The court orders consecutive life without parole terms for each murder count. The courtroom buzzes with tension as everyone waits for the judge's decision. Lyle and Eric Menendez sit side by side, their faces a mix of anxiety and resignation. They have travelled a long, emotional road, and now their fate hangs in the balance. The atmosphere thickens with anticipation, and the whispers of the crowd fade to silence as the judge prepares to deliver the sentences. Inside the packed courtroom, supporters, family members, and reporters fill the seats, all eager to hear the outcome. Some spectators fidget nervously, while others grip tissues in preparation for the moment that is about to unfold. The judge's voice cuts through the anxious murmurs as he states, "I hereby sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole for each count of murder." His words hang in the air, leaving a heavy silence that envelops the room as the weight of the verdict settles in. For Lyle and Eric, this moment extinguishes any hope for freedom. Their lives, once filled with dreams and possibilities, have taken a dark turn. The reality of their situation becomes painfully clear. Family members in the audience struggle to hold back tears, some staring in disbelief as they grapple with the harsh truth that their loved ones are now forever branded as murderers. The emotional burden is evident on their faces, reflecting the shock and sorrow that runs through the room. As the judge continues, Lyle and Eric maintain a stoic appearance, yet their eyes reveal a deep well of emotion. They have endured a long and grueling journey through the legal system, each twist and turn presenting new challenges. Leaning slightly toward each other, they find comfort in their bond, bracing themselves for what comes next. Despite the devastating verdict, their connection remains a source of strength amid the chaos. The brothers exchange a brief glance, silently acknowledging the bond forged through shared experiences and trials. Outside the courthouse, a frenzy of activity unfolds. The media, always hungry for updates, prepares for an onslaught of reactions. Cameras flash as reporters rush to relay the news, even their voices rising in a mix of excitement and urgency. The public has been captivated by the Menendez brothers' story from the beginning, and this latest development only intensifies the ongoing fascination. As journalists scramble for the best angles and quotes, the brothers' saga continues to unfold in real time, adding another layer to an already complex narrative. Back in the courtroom, Lyle and Eric begin to grasp the scale of the moment. They know this verdict alters everything. Their hopes for a life beyond prison walls have vanished, replaced by the clear reality of incarceration. Once seen as victims of a brutal crime, they now confront a future where their identities are forever tied to the events of that night. The psychological toll of the proceedings is evident as they process the implications. The pressure of their new reality hangs over them like a dark cloud, a constant reminder of the choices that brought them to this point. In the days following the sentencing, the media frenzy shows no signs of slowing down. Reporters dig deeper into the brothers' past, examining every aspect of their upbringing and the circumstances leading to the tragic events. Questions linger about what truly happened that night. Public opinion remains divided, with views ranging from sympathy to outrage. The brothers' story continues to spark intense discussions, with many grappling with the complexities of family dynamics and the nature of justice itself. Despite the judgment they face, the bond between the brothers only strengthens. They have shared this experience, navigating the complexities of the legal system together. As they are led away from the courtroom, they exchange a knowing glance, a silent acknowledgement of the journey ahead. Their lives have changed forever, and the path before them is full of challenges. The realization that they will be facing the future together, even within the confines of prison, offers a flicker of solace amid their despair. The emotional fallout of the verdict extends beyond the courtroom. Families and supporters gather outside, expressing their feelings about the sentencing. Some voice anger, while others offer support for the brothers, believing in their innocence. The Menendez Brothers case has ignited a national conversation about family dynamics and the complexities of justice. Conversations swirl among supporters and detractors alike, in each side passionately defending their views on the brothers' culpability or victimhood. As officials wrap up the proceedings, a sense of finality settles in. Lyle and Eric are led away, entering a new chapter in their lives, one marked by confinement and contemplation. They will now navigate a world vastly different from the one they once knew, where freedom is a distant memory. The connection between the brothers will be tested as they face the realities of prison life. Each step they take away from the courtroom feels heavy, signifying the loss of their previous lives and the uncertain future that lies ahead. While this chapter closes, the story is far from over. The public remains invested in the Menendez case, and the brothers' legacy is woven into a web of tragedy and controversy. The media continues to cover their story, ensuring that the details of their lives will not fade away. Their narrative prompts ongoing debate about justice and the complexities of family relationships. The Menendez saga captivates the nation, with many eager to see how the story unfolds in the coming years. We'll be back as the Menendez Brothers story continues.